Okay, as we are dedicated, co-sponsored by the Rezepkowitz family in honor of their parents, co-sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Chazan, L'Refu Shalema for Yedidya Bas Penina, Shoshana Bas Penina, Simone Bas Rachel, and co-sponsored by Binyamin Rivlin, Liam Nishmas Yitzchak Ben Avram Yehuda Levi, by Shelley Zeitlin for the schus of his children, Eli Orit and Ora, by Baruch Goldwasser for Shalema for Moshe Meir ben Esther Fradl, Dov Meir ben Chaya Gittel, and our curse Atov to the Shir, Shalom Fogel, Leili Nishmas, Yaakov Zeb ben Yehuda Aryeh, Rivka bas Yaakov Yosef, Tzivya Miriam bas Gad, and Yosef ben Sion ben Yaakov Zev, that the neshama should have an aliyah. And it's really nice to have everybody joining us over here. And Shlomo Yehuda, I've been missing you greatly. I want you to know. I was, Friday, I was hoping that maybe I would meet you by the mikveh to tell you how much I missed you. It's very, very, very good. Never be embarrassed. Very good to see you. And just to let you know that there's a special time tomorrow night. Daf Yomi is 9:45 tomorrow night because of the Suda and everything. You'll be busy. Okay, I can't imagine why. For many years when I lived in Staten Island, I had a kvias, so I gave the Daf Yomi in my shul a quick Daf Yomi between Mincha and Ma'ariv. I gave the Daf Yomi in Borough Park at its normal time at 10:15, and then I gave a shir to the women at Chatzos. We had a huge group of women that said the whole Sefer Tehillim at Chatzos Purim night, and some, like this year, it would be 4 minutes to 1. So I would speak for them at 4 minutes to 1. They actually wanted me to see if I could come back from Lakewood to Staten Island to do it even now, but I am tempted, but it's a little bit of a trip Purim night. Okay, so I'm seeing so many wonderful people with us. Mo Kushner, Stephen Holtzman, Aaron Swade, who has been back in the saddle, Baruch Hashem, and Shimon Klein, and Baruch Ian, what's his name? Morgan Castle, Rabbi Kranz, Yaakov Warman, Menachem Umansky, so Fisher, Saba, who gets a mazel tov on another Enikel, Shalom Fogel, A.B. Spry, good to have you, A.B. Irving Fishbaum, Shelley Zeitlin. A.B., are you in Fairways now? Or he's in Florida?
Fairways.
He's in Fairways, yeah.
Yes, I am in Fairways. Yeah, we had another Einikel a day ago, but we don't have a name yet.
Well, mazel tov to you.
Thank you.
And by the way, it's not such a long drive to come and join us over here. We'd love to see you.
I know, but I have the Einikel by me, and I have to help.
Okay. Mark Frankel, I know the old Einikel excuse, I know. Naftali Jablin, Moshe Lehman, Ilya Shutman. Yeah, Nachman Chapler, Chaim Lerner, Avram Rezepkowitz, Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg, Abe Arbach, Reb Kaniel. Here in the shul, we have Shlomo Yehuda, Ruvain Shannon, Michal Avram, Chaim Kramer, and Gedalia Engel, as we learn on this, again, a full night tonight, because after the shir, we have a Megillas Esther shir. So, a busy night tonight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'akol niyeh b'dvaram.
Amen.
Here's a kind of a grim question that we start with 2 lines from the top of Pei Hey Amud Aleph. Again, 2 lines from the top of Pei Hey Amud Aleph as we welcome in Ben Zion Cohen as our 30th Zoomer for this young evening. By me name Rav Sheshes. They asked Rav Sheshes, Ben ma'ushiyasa shliach la'aviv la'koisai ulekalalai. Can a son be an agent for the court to give his father malchus or to give him a curse of excommunication? Amalei, so the Gemara says, well, nobody's allowed to hit someone. You're not allowed to even hit Marshall. So, but if it's a mitzvah for the court, you're allowed to do it. So the Gemara wants to say it's the same thing with a father. Amalei va'achar mi hitiru. If it wouldn't be a son, can anybody hit someone? Ella k'void shemayim adif. But since it's in honor of heaven, that trumps not hitting somebody. Hachanami, so also with a parent, k'void shemayim adif. That's what Rav Sheshes says. Big Kiddush. So the Gemara asks, as we welcome in Yitzi Mullah for our 32nd Zumar of the evening. Wow, wouldn't it be nice to get Marshall bourbon right before Purim? Come on, let's get moving over here.
Oh yeah. I just bought a bottle of that funny wine, that J-U-E-N-N, whatever you pronounce it. Genesee.
Good. You get me 100 Zumars, I'll give you a box of Johnny Walker. Meisvei. Says the Gemara, Meisvei, Umami, this is a very cryptic statement. Umami shemitzvah lahakoisai. Madach, someone who it's a mitzvah to flog. Mitzvah shaloi lahakoisai, you have a mitzvah to flog, but you have a commandment that you shouldn't give him an extra lash than you're supposed to do. Mi she'eina mitzvah lahakoisai. Somebody who is not commanded to hit, in other words, a son who is not supposed to hit, surely it should be a situation where he shouldn't hit. So the Gemara says, my love, isn't the explanation of this an enigmatic comment? Aidi b'mekay mitzvah. They're both talking about where there's a mitzvah to do it in Bezdin. And when it says somebody who is a mitzvah lakaisa, it's a mitzvah shaloi lakaisa, it means it's a mitzvah not to give an extra lash. But a son shouldn't do it even the correct amount, and somebody else can. So which would be not like Rav Sheshes. Says the Gemara, loy, Aidi b'makom mitzvah. It says, excuse me, it says, no. Loy, Aidi v'Aidi, loy shna b'noi v'loy shna achar. It makes no difference whether it's his son or it's someone else. V'loy kasha. Kam b'mikay mitzvah. In the case of a mitzvah, it's a mitzvah la'kaisai, because he's supposed to get lashes because he wore shatnez, but you don't give an extra one. Kan b'shaloi b'mikay mitzvah. If it's not a mitzvah, so we learn out from this kal v'chaimer an hashara, a lav of, because we don't really have a source for how you know you're not supposed to punch someone and hit someone. So this would be the source. Then where it's not a mitzvah, you surely shouldn't hit someone. And it's telling you the source of a lav not to hit someone. It's a mitzvah to give him 39 lashes. Mitzvah shaloi lakaisai, it's a mitzvah not to give him an extra lash. Shaloi b'mekay mitzvah. If he's not deserving of a beating, she'eina mitzvah lakaisai, it's not a mitzvah to hit him. Eino din she mitzvah shaloi lakaisai, it is a warning not to give him a patch. So that's where we learn out not to hit someone. It's Tajma, again addressing this question about having a son being an agent of the court. If somebody is being taken out to be executed. Uba benoi, and his son comes, v'keyu v'kilalai, and hits him or curses him, chayiv. Ba achar v'keyu v'kilalai, somebody else comes and hits him or curses him, potter. So the Gemara says, v'avinan ba, we're wondering, ma'ishna benoi or ma'ishna achar. I mean, the bottom line is this person is supposed to get executed. He's not supposed to get hit. He's not supposed to get cursed. So what's the difference between the son and someone else? V'amar Rav Chisda, so Rav Chisda says, b'misarvim boi lotzeis, where we're pressing him to go out to be executed, v'eina yotzei, and he doesn't want to go. And therefore, the son shouldn't do it. But someone else can, in order to get him to go to his execution.
How is cursing him going to make him go?
Good. Perhaps the idea is that they tell him that if you don't go, you're going to be cursed. Now, Rav Sheshes says, no, that's not what it's talking about, because this would be a source that the son, if he does it, he would be chayiv, which would be not like Rav Sheshes. So Rav Sheshes says no. Rav Sheshes mukala b'she'em mitzarvim boi lotzeis, where they're not pressing him to go out. So the Gemara says, so if they're not pressing him to go out, then what right does someone else have to hit him or curse him? Just because he's on death row doesn't give you a right to hit him or curse him. Iachi acher nami, says the Gemara, no. Since he's on death row, he's considered a gabra ketila. He's considered already a dead man. And since he's already considered a dead man, achar gabra ketilahu, he's a dead man, and you're not chayiv for doing it to a dead man. Says the Gemara, but that's not true, because it brings still disgrace to the person's family. The raya is, V'amar Rav Sheshes, Baisha Yoshan Umeis. If you embarrass a sleeping person and he died in his sleep, so he never got embarrassed. Because when he was sleeping, he's not embarrassed, and he never got up to be retroactively embarrassed. Yet chayiv. So why? Because you're causing embarrassment to the family. So even though this man is a gabra ketila, but you should be chayiv, even if you're not the son, for causing the family embarrassment. Says the Gemara, where you hit him a hakah that doesn't have a shavapruta. If you give a person a hakah, even though it doesn't have a loss of a pruta, like it, you get malchus. Says, well, you're right. When it says potter over here, it's not talking about physical. That you do get. It means monetary. My potter to come a potter mimaman. Michlal de benoi chayiv b'maman. Do you mean to say that the son is chayiv for money? But there wouldn't be a chayiv for money if there is lashes. There's no chayiv of money. So what do you mean the son is chayiv if it's talking about money? Ela b'dinai, it means that the son is punished for hitting his father. Hachanami b'dinai. Here also it would mean that the other person is potter, but why should he be potter? Even if it's ein b'shav pruta, he should get malchus. Ela acher hainu taima de potter. You know why? The amakra v'nasi ba'amcha lo yisa'er. A nasi amongst your people you should not curse. And we limit that to ba'oise ma'isa amcha. And this person who's on death row is not oise ma'isa amcha, so therefore another person is not chayiv. Says the Gemara, okay, that explains why he's not chayiv for cursing him. But what about hitting him? Hatena klala hakaminalan. It doesn't say ba'amcha, by an asara of hitting. Says the Gemara, no, the makshina nakar l'klala. We juxtapose hitting to cursing. Says the Gemara, ihachi b'noi nami. so then the son should also be pater, since he's not oisei ma'isa amcha. Since he's not oisei ma'isa amcha, since he's on death row. Says the Gemara, Kid Amara Pinchas b'sha'asa tshuva. It's talking about if he did tshuva. So then if he did tshuva, it's the question, so the other person should also be chayiv. Kid Amara Pinchas b'sha'asa tshuva, achanami b'sha'asa tshuva, ihachi achar nami. Then the other person that hit him should also be chayiv. Amarav Mori, ba'amcha means, when it says ba'amcha, it means b'mekuyim sheba'amcha. Only somebody that's going to survive amongst your people. And since this person is on death row, and he's not going to survive amongst the people, right? So therefore, the other person is pater. Says the Gemara, then the son should also be pater. This is a Talmudic back and forth. Right? Then the son should also be pater because it's not amcha, it's not mekuyim sheba amcha, sheba mecha. As we turn to pay hey amid beis, that was a quick turnaround. Says the Gemara, well, another person is different. You see, another person, if he does something after death, he's not chayiv. But a son that curses his father after death is chayiv. So the Gemara says, "Midei dahave la'achar misa." A son is different, just like he's different when he does it after death. As Rashi says, "Yalfinon lekaman mikala la'achar misa chayiv." That if one curses a parent, even when the parent is already deceased, he's chayiv. So says the Gemara, "My have Allah." What's the maskana? Rav Sheshes was asked the question: can a son act as an agent of the court to flog his father, to curse his father? Amar Rabba bar Avuna v'chein tana debei Rabbi Yishmael, l'kol ein ben nasa shliach la'aviv. A son should never be asked to be an agent of the court to punish his father, la'kaisai, to flog him, ulakalai, and to curse him, except if the father's sin was a mesis. Except if he was a seducer. Chutz memesis, a mesis, that's a terrible crime. Somebody seduces other people to idolatry. Shari amra Torah lo yisachmal alav. There we're not show no mercy. V'lo yisachasa alav. So there a son could even flog or curse his own father. Now, says the Mishnah, and we are learning to be mekayim the mitzvah b'dibarta bam, lasis nachas ruach liyotzreinu. I am of the opinion that already now there's a very big mitzvah to learn Torah. Because already now people are learning a lot less Torah. People are busy with shalach manas, and they're busy with costumes, and they're busy doing all kinds of things, especially when a Purim goes straight into Shabbos. It's a very busy time. So when we learn Torah, we are having a big amount of holding up the world. Again, I want to remind you that after we finish the daf, there will be a wonderful shir on Megillas Esther. You can invite your wives to join us if they so should choose to learn about Purim. And tomorrow's schedule, remember, tomorrow's schedule is that shir is at 9:45. 9:45. Talk about Yeshivas Mordechai ve'Esther. That's what they used to call it. Learning on Purim. That's at 9:45. Probably followed by for the Shabbos table shir. So that'll also be a third night in a row of extracurricular learning. We welcome in Avram Schenkman, it's great to have you. Now, Avram, we're on the Mishnah, first Mishnah, on Pei Hey Amid Beis. Hamaka Avi v'imai, if somebody hits his father and mother, Einoi Chayv, that is a capital crime punished by chenek, by strangulation, which is the subject of our perek. But Einoi Chayv achiyas bem chabmura. But he's only Chayv if he makes a wound, if he draws blood. Zeh chaymer b'mekalel mibamaka. There is a chumrah of cursing over hitting. Shehamekalel achamisa Chayv. One curses his father or mother after their death, he's Chayv. But if somebody hits the body of their parents after death, since there's obviously no feeling, then he's potter. Tan Rabbanan. Aviv v'imay kilel, his father and his mother he curses. That's an extra pasuk, and that extra pasuk. We welcome in Rich Leonard, who has come back to the daf doing tshuva. It's unbelievable. The Rabbi say, Rich has been away too long. Rich very soon, 25 blot of Agarata starting. 25 blot of Agarata.
In one night.
And I'm telling people that they should get Rav Avigdor Miller's sefer on Chelik. He wrote a sefer on this perek. And also the Artskor Ayin Yaakov has a separate volume on this perek. So really, this perek is unbelievable. We are going to be putting up an easy pass to have people because there's not going to be enough room in the shul. It's very good to see you, Rich. Rich is here. That means he finished all of his taxes already. And halavai, halavai, right? Halavai. So anyway, Tan Rabbanan, Avi v'imay kilel, his father and his mother he cursed. That's an extra pasuk to tell you that you're chayiv even la'achar misa, even if he does so after the death of his parents. Sheyachal, I would think, hoyav v'chayiv b'makar v'chayiv b'makalel, since there is a similarity. A child is chayiv for hitting his parents, he's chayiv for cursing his parents. Ma'amaka, if he hits his parents, he's only chayiv if he hits them when they're alive. Afamekalel, I would say, in a chayiv elamechayim. V'oid kal v'chaymer. Ma'amaka, when he hits his parents, she'asa b'shaloi ba'amcha k'ba'amcha, we make by hitting that he's not allowed to even if his father is a sinner, right? He's not oisem ma'isa amcha. He's still not allowed to hit him. Lo chayiv b'lacha misa. He's not chayiv if he hits him after death. Mekalel, cursing. There by cursing it says ba'amcha lo yisar. Shaloi asa b'shaloi ba'amcha k'ba'amcha. He's not chayiv if he curses his father if he's a no goodnik. If he transgresses the Torah, Einoi din for sure, Shaloi chayiv b'lacha misa. For sure, he shouldn't be chayiv if he does it after his death. Thank you very much. Tamalayma, the pasuk says clearly, Aviv v'imay kilel. That's an extra pasuk to tell you that he's chayiv if he curses his father and mother, even lacha misa. So the Gemara says, but that's only if you have that pasuk extra. You see, the pasuk says that you shouldn't curse your father and your mother, and it says it together. So I might think you're only chayiv if you curse both of them. So hanichal Rabbi Yonasan the miyata lekra, the miyata lekra of Aviv Makila. It's good according to Rabbi Yonasan, who doesn't need that pasuk. So then it's extra to tell me after Misa. But according to Rabbi Yoshi, that learns out from Aviv Makila to tell you that chayiv if you do the father without the mother or the mother without the father, then how do you know achamisa? The Tanya, for we learned this machlokes, ish. It says Ish twice. Ish. Matam ish. L'rabbis bas tumtum vandroginus, to include not only a son, but a daughter, or even a tumtum, one whose genitalia are covered over, an androgynous, one who has genitals of a male and a female, asher yikal es aviv es imai, who curses his father and his mother. Ein li el aviv imai. I only know if he curses both. Aviv shalei imai, if he curses his father and not his mother, or imai shalei aviv, or his mother and not his father, minayin. That is an extra pasuk to tell me Aviv Kilel, even if he just curses his father, Imai Kilel, Diver Rabbi Yeshia. Rabbi Yonasan says no. When it says Sheikal es Aviv es Imai, it means either or. Because any place where it says in the Torah es ve'es, it's either or, unless it adds the words Yachtav. When it says es aviv es imay mash, it implies either both of them together or one or the other. Unless it says yachtav, like it says in the case of shar v'chamor yachtav. But otherwise, it means either or. So the Gemara says, so according to Rabbi Yeshia, that he needs Aviv v'imai Kilel to tell me either or, so then how does he know that there's a chiyuv for cursing after Misa? Minole. Nafkale from the extra pasuk, Mekala Aviv v'imai mais yumas. V'idach, and the other one, what does he do with that extra pasuk? To include a daughter, a tumtum and an androgynous. Says, but we already had ish for that. He doesn't hold ish as a drasha, because Dibra Torah kalashim b'nei Adam. The Torah is just speaking in the common vernacular, and that's not an extra drasha. We have the pleasure of welcoming in right now Dov Solkowitz as our 33rd Zoomer, and Berish Gesseman live to bring us up to, we have a nice group here tonight, and Berish, it's always good to have you as we are in the first wide line of Pei Hey Amid Beis. First wide line of Pei Hey Amid Beis. V'lisnei chaymer b'makeh b'mekalel. Why don't we say that there's a chumrah by hitting than by cursing? She'amakeh, because by hitting also by shaloi b'amcha k'b'amcha, that the son can't hit his father even if he's a sinner. Ma'ashe'en came b'mekalel, but cursing there's no prohibition, because by cursing it says nasi ba'amcha lo yisar, and it applies to a parent also. By cursing, there's no prohibition if the father is a sinner. Says the Gemara, no, the Tana of our Mishnah, Kosavar makshinon hakol l'klala. The Tana of our Mishnah says that we juxtapose hakol to klala, and we say that the din of hitting is the same din as the cursing, and just like by cursing, there's an exception if it's not Ma'isa Amcha, so by Hakah, there's also a exception. Now the Gemara says, Leima hani tanoi kahani tanoi. Let's say this machlokes parallels the following machlokes. The Tani Chada, we learned in one brayso, kusi ata mitzuva ala ka'asai. A kusi you're not allowed to hit. V'i ata mitzuva al kilulasai. But you're not commanded not to curse him. Now remember, the kusim are a very, very interesting group of people. They were when Sanhedrin removed the people of the Shamron, he repopulated the Shamron with Kusim. They were attacked by lions and they converted. There was a question if their conversion was sincere or not. And that's a question if they're Kusim Geri Aroya saying, if they only converted from lions, or if they're Geri Emes. Now, if they're Geri Emes, if they're sincere, then they have a din of Yidden. And even if afterwards, when they found them worshipping a Demus Yain on Har Grizim, a form of a dove on Har Grizim, then they're just Jewish sinners. Once a Jew, always a Jew. So then they're just Jewish sinners. But if you hold that they were Ger Arayis, that their original conversion wasn't sincere, then they're Goyim. So here we have the Tani Chodekusi Atamitzuva al Akosai. You're not allowed to hit him. V'Atamitzuva al Kilulasai. But you're not commanded not to curse him because he's a sinner, so he's not Oisei Maisa Amcha. V'Tani Idach I'Atamitzuva Lo al Kilulasai V'Lo al Akosai. You're not commanded, you're not forbidden against hitting him, nor against cursing him. So the Gemara at this point thought, Savrua, the Kule Alma Kuse Gerim Emesein. Everybody holds that the Kusim was sincere initially, and therefore they're Jews. But they're not Oisei Maisa Amcha. So my lab Bahakam Iflagi. The Marisova Makshina Hakala Klala, we juxtapose Hakala Klala. So just by Klala, there's an exception if he's not Oisei Maisa Amcha. So by hitting, there's also an exception if he's not Oisei Maisa Amcha. Or Marisova Loi Makshina Hakala Klala. So the Gemara says Loi. The Kule Alma Loi Makshina Hakala Klala. And therefore, if he's a Jew, then you're not allowed to hit him even though he's a sinner. But one of them holds that he's a guy. They're sincere converts. Saying their actual geiris was not sincere, and they have a din of a guy. It says the Gemara, his shor has a din of a Yiddish shor, where you have to pay a chatzi nezek, a tam, and a nezek shalom, a muad. Ela shmami no be'keisha pligi, like your first thing was, is everybody holds their kusim geri emes, and the one that says you're not allowed to hit them holds that you only have the exemption of ba'amcha by cursing and not by hakah, and therefore even though he's a sinner you can't hit him. And the other one holds where makish hakah leklala, just like there's an exemption of if it's not ma'isa amcha by cursing, there's an exemption by hitting as well. Now, in this case, Marshall upped the ante, and he's really wicked. Hagoynev nefesh mi Yisrael. And Marshall goes ahead and kidnaps Rabbi Kranz, and he sells them. I'm telling you, when you go to the airport,
I didn't get that much for the guy.
when you go to the airport and you hear about the traffickers, just look around for Marshall. Hagoynev nefesh mi Yisrael. Einoi chayev ad shiachnisenu l'reshusai. He's only chayev if he first brings Rabbi Kranz into his possession, as it says in the pasuk Matzabai. You find him by him. Rabbi Yehuda ad shiachnisenu l'reshusai v'yishtamish by. He has to use him because it says v'yisamer by. Shenemar v'yisamer by, and then u'mecharai. Hagoynev es b'nai, one who kidnaps his son. Rabbi Shmuel ben Yisha Rabbi Yechim ben Brayka Mechayiv holds his chayiv v'chacham and patron. The Gemara will say what the machlokes is there, and also Misha Chetzia Eved v'Chetzia ben Chayrin. If Marshall steals Tony / Mordechai, that means me and Eddie had a slave. I freed my part, so the slave is half free man and half still slave to Eddie. That's he works on even days for himself, and odd days he works for Eddie. So he's a Chetzia Eved v'Chetzia ben Chayrin. Rabbi Yehuda Mechayiv. Rabbi Yehuda holds that Marshall is Chayiv. and v'chachamim poitra. Again, we'll learn what the machlokes is in the Gemara. Now, says the Gemara, we said that Rabbi Yehuda says that Marshall needs to work Rabbi Kranz. Says the Gemara, "V'tana kama loy boi imor." Does the Tana Kama not hold that he has to work Rabbi Kranz? The pasuk says, "V'samer boi." Amar Rav Achabrei Rav imor pachas mishava pruta ikebenayu. The difference between them is if he works him, but he works him less than a shava pruta. Does that constitute working him? Now, the Gemara class an interesting shaila. Bari Rabbi Yirmiyah, Ganvai, if he stole Rabbi Kranz, umachara yashin mahu, and he sold them while he was sleeping, or machar isha lu bara mahu. I mean, Marshall knows no shame. He kidnapped a pregnant woman, and he sold her fetus. What's the din? So the Gemara says, Yesh derech imer bekach or ein derech imer bekach. Is that considered working him or not? So the Gemara says, what do you mean? If Rabbi Kranz was sleeping, he never worked him. If he sold the pregnant woman, he never worked her. The tefik like the leki imer klal. So no, there's more to the story. With Marshall, there's always more to the story. Lo tzricha, the case is Yashin, where he kidnapped Rabbi Kranz, de zoga alei. And while Rabbi Kranz was sleeping, he leaned on him. Right? He needed to get under the car, so he put Rabbi Kranz on the floor, and he leaned on him. I'm telling you, when you go to Marshall's shop, it's slave labor. Says Gemara.
He's a new creeper for me.
Says the Gemara, Isha, the pregnant woman, you know what he did? He kidnapped her, and in the shop, he was getting a draft. So he put her in front of the window, so you shouldn't have a draft. Yeah, Reuven can't imagine, but this is Marshall. Isha, says the Gemara, he took her to Ukma Ba'ape Zika. He put her, because she has a belly, she blocked the draft. So, derech imer bekach, or ain't derech imer bekach? Is that considered working them? Mai, teku, tishbi yatas kusiris yibayis. Tan Rabbana. Ki yamatze ish gainev nefesh me'echav. It's me'achiv, right? Me'echav or me'achiv? Me'echav. It's plural. Ki yamatze ish gainev nefesh me'echav. If you find Marshall stealing somebody from his brethren, ein li ala isha ganav. I only know if the kidnapper is a man. Isha minayin. Isha minayin. How do we know if it's a woman? Talmud Leimer v'gainev ish. It doesn't say a man. It says v'gainev ish. If anybody kidnaps a man. Now, ein li ela isha ganav, bein isha bein ish. I only know a man, whether he kidnaps a man or a woman, because by the man it says gainev nefesh me'echav. So a man is whether he kidnaps a man or a woman. V'isha shegan v'ish, because it says in the pasuk v'ganav ish. How do we know, however, Isha shegan ve'isha minayin, a woman that kidnaps a woman, how do we know she is chayiv? Talmud Leimer meisa ganavahu, the ganav is executed, mikol makom, in any case. Okay, Rabbi say, nice, beautiful daf. We'll stop over here, and remember tomorrow we have a start time of 9:45. 9:45. It isn't a very big daf, so it shouldn't be that long. And now we have a special shir on Megillas Esther.